Hello, Seka. Why are you looking at me so weird, Seka?
What do you want today, bro? Like, seriously, there's nothing to talk about.
I wanted you to help prepare people for 2.2.
Why?
Because there's so much content. So much.
No, there's not.
Oh yes, before 2.2 there's so much to do.
Like what?
But for one, you must spend your Moonchase Charms.
Yeah, bro! Just spend them! You forgot to go to the shop! Go to the shop?
Yes, there's a secret shop you have to go to.
You're joking.
I would never do that to you. Never.
All right, so 2.2 is gonna be here in a few days. Heads up on 2.2. There's Child and Hu Tao. Both of them are cool. The Polar Star is coming, new weapon and everything, but there's some things that we gotta do before 2.2. First thing you gotta do is make sure you go to the teapot before 2.2, save up some resin so you can do whatever you wanted to do right as 2.2 starts. But to be honest, there's nothing to do in 2.2 because everything in 2.2 is exactly the same and there's no new content that's resin based. So you don't even need to save resin and go to the teapot. But either way, make sure you've maxed out your teapot. Now I recommend in 2.2 to max out your teapot if you have not done so already, but pick up your transient resin and then use your transient resin inside 2.2 because potentially when you roll a new character in 2.2, you can then use that resin to max out that character. Just for a little tip on resin. Now for 2.2, there is the Tartagel's character that's going to be on his a billionth rerun. Tartaglia, of course, is a character that relies on either the Hydro set or the Shimenawa set. So if you wanted to then farm this out, you can then farm out a Hydro set or a Shimenawa set for him if you want to play for him. For Hu Tao, same deal actually. She's actually a character that relies really heavily on either the Shimenawa set or the Crimson Witch of the Flame set. But the thing with the Crimson Witch of the Flame set is that the Crimson Witch of the Flame set also has access to this Lava Walker set that is actually pretty poor for a lot of characters. So of course, if you are a player looking to get a good set for Hu Tao, but you also want to have good resin efficiency with your artifact farming, yes, Shimenawa Hu Tao does pretty well. I actually just did it yesterday and finished up my Hu Tao on Shimenawa. So for Hu Tao, as you can see, Shimenawa set does pretty well. You can just do with a normal HP sentence here, Pyro Goblet, Raid Headpiece, whatever you need, and then you can optimize it for a decent amount of stats. You can do pretty well. Shimenawa sets where HP percentage stands is pretty easy to come by. So seeing how there's not a lot of characters that can utilize that artifact, it's actually a pretty efficient artifact grind. All right, so for 2.2, you are going to need to farm out a bunch of different of these things, the spectral things, what are they called? And for them, you're gonna need a total of 9 gray, 25 green, and 27 blue of the spectral thingies in order to get your the Polar Star to maximum if you want to get these to max, based upon the secondary material cost of anything in Genshin. And for the max that you can domain farm, which is actually live today on NA, if you want to farm it, this is going to be available for 5 green masks for pretty much any weapon in the game, 14 blue, 14 purple, and 6 orange masks in total. Should take you about a day or two of resin in order to get yourself all the masks, depending on how hard you resin refresh in this game. The big thing that you're gonna do prior to 2.2 though, this is the huge thing, actually insane thing. You're gonna do this thing. You're gonna do this thing throughout the rest of 2.1, chill out, take a nap, see you in a month and a half. All right, now that 2.2 is over and you're back to watching this video, and you forgot to do the rest of this video because of course you implemented the strategy we just implemented for you. What else do you have to do before 2.2? During the rest of 2.1, there are going to be some things that you're probably going to want to do. Number one, if you want to prep for Child, of course he takes the same materials as always. I don't even have him in this account because I'm not going to summon for him. You're probably going to want to build out your Skyward Harp unless you're going for Polar Star. You want to either build out your Rust, all those things, etc. So those are things you want to do. But pretty much you're just going to just take a nap. Oh, the last thing you got to do, spend your Moonchase Charms. So a lot of people have been asking me how to spend their Moonchase Charms. I haven't done it on one of my accounts, okay? So I've done it on my other 2 accounts. I actually forgot to spend them on my free-to-play account. But this is how you get the free 5-star. Okay, so what you do is you go over here and you're able to spend 69 of your 70 Moonchase Charms. And the last one you keep as a keepsake, I'm not sure why, but they decided to give us the shop, and it's only 69 of the charms, okay? You have to go over here, and I'll show you what to do. All right, Now, the first thing you have to do, right? I don't have enough time to do this today because I got to do some count reviews and stuff right now. But the first thing you have to do is you have to go down to the new Hydro Cube, okay? The new Hydro Cube is available down here, and you actually have to kill it one time. But the thing is, you have to kill the Hydro Cube with a Hydro character, as in the final hit has to be done with a Hydro character. Now you can use a lot of characters to bring it down early, but you have to kill it with the Hydro character. It doesn't matter how that happens, but kill it with the Hydro character, okay? Now once that's done, you go to this, you see this waterfall up here. Now at the top of this waterfall, there is a guy that sells a free 5-star at the top of this waterfall. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this on the map right here so you can see it. Let me just make sure I got it right. Actually, I'll move it a little bit. Sorry. We'll move it right here, okay? Mark this on the map, and you make sure you go to the top of this waterfall. Now, as you can see, it's kind of difficult to get to the top of this waterfall inside the here from this direction, but that just lets you know where it is. All right, I'm gonna go from this direction so you can actually see it. The vendor that's at the top of the waterfall, okay, he actually gives you a free 5-star constellation, not the free 5-star in general. It's a free 5-star constellation, so you can only use it as a fixed resource for just the constellation, okay? So just make sure that you buy the constellation, okay? Buy the constellation that you need. I recommend C2 Jean. It's probably the best option, and I would not pick up C2 Chi-Chi, C1 Chi-Chi, whatever, okay? But as you can see, we are now clearly on top of the waterfall, and the vendor is right below us, okay? Now, once I kill the Hydro Cube with the Hydro character, I will then be sucked and transported from this area to a dude that sells me the free constellation. British Seka got me again. I don't know why I did it. I should have just listened to my gut and just skipped out on this. Anyways, I don't know how they did that though. Like, why is there sun coming through the top of that when there's literally no way that light can pass through? My entire game immersion has been broken by a bad design. Like, you can't even cascade light through this section. I mean, I was looking through it on my edit on this, and I'm like, hey man, is there actually a way that you could like cascade the light through the sand to make that whole thing happen? And there's not. So I'm just immersion broken. But for the rest of 2.2, we got the events that we gotta do, get some primos, you're probably gonna farm the last island, use story mode and all that stuff. So that's how we found. Now's the best time for you guys to build out a lot of characters that you haven't been able to build out before. Basically, all of 2.2 and what we're prepping for 2.2 is basically just getting you all the stuff that you wanted to do for your old characters so you can actually play them. So it's a nice little break patch for people so that they can actually get exactly what they need going forward. And if you've already experienced the break patch, the last one we had was like 1.4. So if you already have a lot of characters built, this is like the best time to do that. And if you're a new player just starting out, Tartaglus is a great character. Kind of hard to build for it, and like for the amount of time it's going to take, because you're better off building Zhangling as a priority. So kind of an asterisk banner. If it's kind of like a really good banner for like mid-game players, people that do like 4 or 5 months or something like that, that like already have some decent artifact builds and they're starting to work their thing. So yeah, it's one of those patches. Between Hu Tao and Child, if you're wondering who to summon for, Hu Tao is a great option. Child is a great option. They're both good. Doesn't really matter. It just depends on what constellation your Zhangling or Shinku is. If your Zhangling is a high constellation, you probably should go for Child. And if your Hu Tao's high constellation, or not, your Shinku's high constellation, you probably go for Hu Tao. It's pretty simple. Those are the two supports that you kind of synergize those two characters with. Just summon for whichever one's easier for you. So that's gonna do this video. My name's Sekapoko. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, of course, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.